Good early evening, everybody. It's January 25, 2025. And I have another goodie, another satire, another comedy. You know, that perpetrator said, oh, instead of a conspiracy channel, I should turn it into a comedy channel. Okay, well, I've got some more comedy for you guys. It's written by Karen Stewart, retired NSA intelligence analyst. It's entitled Meet the Gang-Stalker. But before I get into it, please hit the thumbs up. You're going to love this one too. And please feel free to share it. Meet the Gang-Stalker. The federal government, under the auspices of the dark triad megalomaniacs, has co-opted the American tax dollar and governmental infrastructure. Don't you love that word? Infrastructure to recruit, train, and sustain a dregs of society secret army of fools, criminals, moral degenerates, and emotionally retarded losers, i.e. the gang stalkers, organized stalkers, stalker mercenaries, to covertly undermine and subvert everything American throughout the country in secret. The floodgates open with the premeditated act of mass unaliving. I can't believe I have to say that on unaliving, the M word, and treason executed on 9/11/2001, which was plans facilitated and executed by top U.S. politicians and their military-industrial complex and big tech, big pharma, and bankster, quote-unquote, handlers. The bosses with deep pocket enemies of the United States of America. The deep pocket enemies of the USA, under the guise and illusion of quote-unquote homeland security. Rights and privacy of the normal citizen have been severely eroded in the name of, quote, protecting society, unquote. Law enforcement, state and local authorities have been co-opted through declarations of false authority, bent on infiltrating all aspects of society to subvert the U.S. with bribery and threats. The education level in most communities is shockingly non-existent in regard to the federal authority, state authority, and the basics of our own Constitution, thereby allowing rogue feds to falsely establish themselves as local bullies, reigning over locals, just as the Nazi Gestapo did in Germany. This is for educational purposes only, and it's just for fun. It's a comedy. Police were the first to sell us out, sending select law enforcement to blindly serve the dictates of Homeland Security sedition machine in the form of the FBI fusion centers, i.e. Gestapo outposts, regardless of law and blatantly contrary to the Constitution. They covered up crimes, ignored them, and even committed them. No governor, no legislature, no state attorney general, no law enforcement official, no state's attorney even questions the power grab, despite the fact that the Constitution lays out that any power not specifically given to the federal government in our founding documents is the lone right of the individual state. Police also supplied fusion centers with names of local criminals who would gladly cut a deal to commit targeted crimes against fusion center targets. Those innocent people thrown onto the fraud watch list to bloat their budgets and provide a fake threat to falsely justify their treasonous existence. Police also gave fusion centers the names of immature police wannabes in their ride-along programs as a start to building a vigilante force of moronic, degenerate thugs and emotionally stunted losers and bullies. Neighbors were courted. They were fed BS about the extrajudicial harassment, defamation, lack of due process, lack of evidence, lack of witness, lack of truth, and the fusion center originated fabricated, secret accusations against victims, somehow being, quote-unquote, legal, contrary to the entirety of the Constitution, and that orchestrated crimes and acts of degenerate cruelty against them by civilians with no authority, much less understanding of the truth, was just fine. The clincher for these unsophisticated boobs was, of course, the false promise of immunity and under-the-table gift cards for acts of treason, sedition, conspiracy to deprive of rights, conspiracy to torture and unalive, etc. If criminals and communists continue to hold power, then our society will divide into predator versus prey. If patriots awake and stand up, then these villains will have traded everything they own and their very lives for quote-unquote gift cards. Who knew that a vast, high-security prison had been built in Greenland in the first few years? Wonder what the real authorities know that we do not. Will gift cards buy thugs mittens? For the record, the dark triad personality disorder is narcissism combined with Machiavellianism and psychopathy. It's a doozy, and there are a lot of these creatures out there, and some of them are in the GOV. So once again, this article, this flyer, which I again will attempt to post in the community section under a post on my main page. Meet the Gang-Stalker by Karen Stewart, retired NSA intelligence analyst. Yes, so the dark triad of megalomaniacs has co-opted the American tax dollar and governmental infrastructure to recruit, train, and sustain the dregs of society's secret army of fools, criminals, moral degenerates, and emotionally retarded losers, i.e., the gang stalkers, the organized stalkers, the stalker mercenaries, to covertly undermine and subvert everything American throughout the country in secret. Well, I hope you join this comedy of satire and about the gang stalkers, the people that they recruit to harass you, all levels. Yes. Oh, under the guise of Homeland Security. You know what? With your tax dollars, right? With your tax dollars, you too can be stalked. You too could be stalked by the dregs of society, the human army of fools, criminals, moral degenerates, and emotionally retarded losers. Oh, and I'm reminded by a subscriber, yes, what about the addicts? Yes, what about the addicts? Well, what is an addiction? An addiction is an obsession and a compulsion. And I would venture to say that these gang stalkers, the gift card whores, are addicted to you. And they're addicted to those gift cards too, because they keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. So anyway, please hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel grow, get the message out there. I will have the live chat tonight at 10 p.m., 10 to approximately 11 p.m. Eastern time. Signing off for now. Oh, and this cute little painting was painted for me, watch listed for Speaking the Truth by Sawlight42 on eBay.